Here we have the current stock market update from MicroStrategy Incorporated, stock ticker MSTR. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have a 4-hour price chart. Each candle on this price chart represents a 4-hour trading period. And as we can see here, most of the cryptocurrency space today is having a strong day. I just finished a video on Coinbase, and there has been a very significant reversal in Coinbase share prices. So currently what we're seeing here is MicroStrategy stock that is now breaking through some important resistance levels. So in this video, I will be going over some of these important price levels and developing some support and resistance zones so that hopefully traders can develop some profitable trading strategies for this stock going forward. So as we can see here, this near-term price movement is coming in right around 166.80, just above that mark. So we're currently looking at highs just above 166.80. And this does overcome the prior resistance zone, which was being found right at 152.75. This was a very critical level of resistance because, as we can see here, this was a prior price high, which did previously lead to some fairly significant downside movements in share prices when those were tested. So specifically what we're looking at is here, sort of this movement in the upward direction. We start to see some resistance start to develop right around 152.75, and then share prices fall quite dramatically, reaching these new lows coming in at 113.69. So this was a very significant movement to the downside. Since then, what we have started to see is, broadly speaking, the crypto space is having an upward surge here. We are seeing some encouraging developments there in share prices. And most recently, what we have seen here is for MicroStrategy to rally from 113.69 to 166.80. So, it's important to keep the broader view in mind here because, this might look like a stronger, a larger move, I should say, on the shorter term timeframes. And there are reasons that this move is significant. And I will get into that in a moment. But we do need to sort of keep in mind, the broader context here. Like this, when we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, I mean, this is the actual size of the trend wave movement. So it is still much smaller in comparison to these prior bearish waves that we have seen. Although it is encouraging. We're starting to see some encouraging developments here. So, most recently, what we have done now is break through this 152.75 resistance level. And as we can see in the indicator reading, there are some fairly significant developments here as well, because what we have now started to see is that there was some bearish momentum indication in the relative strength index, which did suggest that share prices could continue moving lower if the relative strength index failed in this area. However, what we did see here was a break to the top side, a fairly forceful break, as you can see here. This was a strong upside movement, and share prices are currently holding in overbought territory. So the reading in the relative strength index currently comes in at just below 77.30, and anything above 70 would be considered to be overbought. So this is a bit of a mixed signal here because we are currently in overbought territory, but then at the same time, share prices did manage to break this prior downtrend momentum reading. So on balance, I would consider that to be a positive because I would say that this break of the downtrend is more important than the share price simply moving into overbought territory. That's a little bit of a negative on its own. It does suggest that share prices could start to roll over here somewhat soon. But overall, I would consider this to be more of a positive than a negative because now we can see that this prior downtrend in share price momentum has completed itself. So that is good news. And then longer term, what we can see here is that this uptrend in share price momentum has maintained itself. And this is a trend line here that has been tested many times at this point. So we've got 1, 2, 3, almost 4, 5, almost 6 tests. I mean, you could really probably call it 5 tests, but nearly 6 different tests here where this uptrend line in momentum has been tested and held and managed to keep prices moving higher. So this momentum trend is still in place as opposed to this downtrend, which has now been broken. So these are positive developments here, and I would consider this to be a strong reading in the relative strength index for the 4-hour time frame. So if we're looking at the share price now, currently, the real question is how far can prices extend from here? Can we continue to extend higher? I mean, one thing that we need to take note of is that, this is on the shorter term timeframes, this is a very strong movement to the top side, and we have not seen many instances of downside pullback here. So we do see a little bit of pullback activity here, and then a fairly significant run higher. So at the moment, this is a lot of bullish activity and not very much bearish activity. So it's positive, but in some cases you would like to see a period of pullback, a healthy pullback, so that share prices can continue moving higher. What really has happened here is that we came into this resistance zone at 152.75, and then we really just blew right through there. We just broke to the top side. And this is the type of activity that is being seen broadly throughout the cryptocurrency space. Overall, I mean, my assessment and opinion of MicroStrategy really hasn't changed. I think that if you're bullish on crypto, I think you just buy the underlying crypto. It is much cheaper to just do that. On average, it costs 1.9 Bitcoin to gain exposure to 1 Bitcoin through MicroStrategy. So it is more expensive to gain exposure to Bitcoin, and it's a better idea to just buy the underlying asset to just buy Bitcoin itself. But when Bitcoin is moving higher, MicroStrategy also tends to move higher. It's also good for Coinbase. I do suggest that people take a look at that video as well. I just released that video; it just went up. So we are seeing some positive trend movements here, definitely in cryptocurrency, and this is definitely a strong day for the entire space. So to the top side, the next level that I would be watching here comes in right at 183. 70. I think this is actually 80. I should change this. But 183.80 would be my next upside target here for MicroStrategy. That does rest relatively close by. It's not a huge distance away. And as we can see here, that is a very major level of resistance that has been encountered here several times for this stock. So overall, I do think that this is a good price movement to the top side, but, you do need to keep note of the fact that, you're starting to run right into this major resistance level because this has been tested really two different times. We did see a bit of a false breakout to the top side here, so we can point to right here, and then share prices did fall massively after that. That is actually when we created this 113.69 price low. So overall, these are good trend moves. Be a bit cautious here into this 183.80 resistance zone because that is a pretty strong resistance zone. So here's the current stock market update from MicroStrategy Incorporated, stock ticker MSTR. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.